Hi, I'm Jamie Birkett and I've just finished playing Joanne in Rent at Greenwich Theatre, and I'll next be playing Martha in Cross Purpose at the King's Head Theatre from the 7th of October, and I'm having tea with Wilma. I trained at Mount View Theatre School, Academy of Theatre Arts, and I left there, graduated from there about 3 years ago, which seems like 5 minutes ago. And I did, straight out of there, I did Once Upon a Time at the Adelphi, which was a great show at the Union. That was my first job. Then I did Fame in Monte Carlo, in Monaco, where I played Serena, which was brilliant. I loved that. Thankfully, I didn't dance. Well, I did a little bit, but thankfully not too much for the audience's sake. After that, gosh, what else have I done? I did Ragtime last year and The Hired Man, which is one of my favourite shows. It was great, I loved doing that. I was on tour from the end of last year, like December, into sort of spring, March, April, with a show called Musical Star Nights as the principal singer on that, the principal female. And that was great. Lots of different musicals, good fun, singing and dancing, all that jazz. And then I did Rent, and then I did a small opera, The Fimbra, at the beginning of the year, and now I'm doing Cross Purpose, which is completely different to anything I've ever done before. I think that sums it up. Yeah, Cross Purpose is a play by Albert Camus, a French author and playwright. Cross Purpose is one of his early plays, which hasn't really been done in England. It was done in French a few years ago, but it's never really been done in English or the English translation. So we're thrilled to be doing it, and hopefully we'll get a lot of people in to see it, because it's a fantastic play. It's about a mother and a daughter who run a guest house, and they murder their wealthy visitors, their male wealthy visitors, with a poisoned cup of tea. I won't give you a poisoned cup of tea today. And then their son, comes as a surprise. He's been away for 20 years, and he doesn't tell them who he is because he wants them to discover. Unfortunately, they don't notice or don't care, and they murder him in his sleep. Put him to sleep and drag him to the river and drown him. So it's dark. There is slight humour in it as well, which is nice, but I'm quite dark, my role, so it's a very brilliant part to play for me. I love it to bits, but it's hard work. It's exhausting. Yeah, it's kind of, the themes of life and why we're here and what's the point, and it's very like that, so hopefully the audience will leave questioning, I think, or I'd like to hope. Hopefully, if I've given 2.5 hours of, hopefully they'll enjoy it, or at least question and think when they leave. I'd like to think so, hopefully. Oh, 5 words. Oh, I should have prepared this in advance. Honest. Which I think all my friends would say that happens, and I just tell the truth, which probably is not always the best thing. Honest. Passionate. So I can't do things half measures. They either have to be full on or not done at all. Which I hope is a good thing. Is it awful if I say funny? Funny. All Northerners are funny. Funny. Northern charm. How many is that? 3. What were they? I've forgotten what the first one was. Something, passionate, funny. That's awful that I can't think of 5 words. Eyes. Everyone says I have big eyes, so eyes. That's not a word. What else? I make good carrot cake. Really good carrot cake. That's quite legendary in my house. And I love dogs. Involved because I auditioned like everyone else. Did, you know, the rounds as you do, which were great. And then got offered the job, which was amazing. I was thrilled to be offered it. And then started rehearsals. It was amazing. Zoe Birkett, who no relation, played Maureen. Obviously, I was Joanne. So it was strange at first because when you're told you're going to be playing a lesbian couple with two straight women, you think, oh, it's going to be a bit awkward. But Zoe is 100% at all times. So I think on our first rehearsal, she was like, well, that's us kissing. So, and as first of all, you think, oh, but there's no better way to be. So I think that set the ball rolling, and that's how it was for the whole time. So we were pretty much a couple for the whole run, in the whole rehearsal period, which is brilliant. So it set that relationship up. And I think hopefully an audience saw that. And the cast were amazing. There wasn't one weak link. Everyone was top of their game, knew what they were doing. Choreographer was amazing. MD, both MDs were fantastic. Director was great. We just had a great team, great cast, great theatre. And it kind of does itself then. I mean, obviously you have to put the work in, and it is a hard show, because it's not, even though there's lots of light in it, it is about AIDS and about poverty and things like that. So you've got to really think about that, and it was hard work, but great, and so emotionally freeing to do. Oh, what do I do? I have lots of little superstitions that are crazy. Like, I can't have whistling near me. That really upsets me if people whistle. And I don't even really know why. That just, not even in the theatre, in life, if people whistle, I get, ugh. But before a show, I always brush my teeth before I go on stage. Not even because I want to smell nice, because I think it makes me a better singer. Probably absolutely does not. I steam every morning and every night. Try not to talk too much. Try not to talk past midnight, 1 o'clock. So I go into mime and tutting. So if I want something, I'm like a gerbil, which is awful for anyone around me. But I'm too worried that I won't be able to sing the next day. I have to have a character lipstick. So I get a new lipstick for every character I play, and that's her character lipstick. That's a bit weird. And ginger chews. Always take a ginger chew. Holland and Barrett ginger chews. Absolutely. Get you right up there. Just before you go on stage, straight on, belt it out. In Rent, I'm going to get absolutely shot for saying this because my director will probably kill me. But in Rent, I had decided one night that my solo, We're Okay, came before the duet Tango Maureen. Walked on stage, bald as brass, took out my phone, thought, oh, that's funny, the band are playing the wrong song. Carried on, was like, Steve, Joanne, the Rosé Case. And then obviously Ben sang the entrance of Tango Maureen, which is, and so into the abyss. And I thought, oh God, I've started the wrong number. So I went, I'll call you back. Shut my phone, put it in my pocket, and went and did the number. And I don't think anyone noticed, because Ben, who played Mark, didn't even notice. Came off stage, brilliant, well done. I was like, do you not notice I did the whole wrong number? No. I've also stacked it many times, stacked it in Rent. Zoe pushed me over and I fell to the floor, which was nice. Dirty Dancing, stacked it in the middle. We did a turn and I fell flat on my bum. Right front and centre. Audience obviously laughed for about 10 minutes as I pretended it hadn't happened, but obviously I had. Loads of things. Terrible. Once my tech team stuck all my props down to a table. So I was trying to do a number, try to lift my props, and they were all stuck with sellotape. So I was like, this is awkward. Loads. Always happens to me. I'm that person. Yeah. I'd love to work on so many. I mean, I'd like to do straight theatre as well as musical theatre, so I'd love to work for the National. Oh, that would be amazing. I'd love to work for the RSC. I mean, they're all up here. They're all amazing companies that I'd be very lucky to work for. I'd like to be in Wicked. I know everyone must say that, but I do. Wicked's a great show, and I'd love to do it. There's loads of shows. Wicked, Thriller, Les Mis. I'd love to do Les Mis. I'd love to be, it'd be great, just be like filthy and what's your job? Whore. Brilliant. That's on the CV. Yeah, I think Blood Brothers I'd like to do as well. I think Blood Brothers is a great show. I'd like to play Mrs. Johnson though, so maybe I've got a few years to wait. Rock You. I'd love to do Rock You. Absolutely would love to do Rock You. I think that's it in town. But I wouldn't say no to any job. I'm not fussy. Babe, I'm not fussy. Give me a job. I really wanted Gypsy to come back to the West End. It was done at Leicester Curve, and I wanted it to come to the West End so much. I love Gypsy. Sweeney Todd was just done, which is one of my favourite shows of all time. I'd like West Side Story to come back to the West End. I know it's had a few tours, but I think it should be in the West End. It's a brilliant show. What else? I'd like to do the Wild Party, the Lipper version. That's one of my dream shows to do, although I think the rights are very difficult to get hold of. That, to my knowledge, hasn't been done in the West End. It's quite a small show. It's brilliant. YouTuber. What else has gone and not come back? Witches of Eastwick. I quite enjoyed that. I'd quite like to do that. I think I'd be a good witch. Yeah. Gypsy's my favourite though, I think. I don't particularly think there's a part for me in Gypsy unless I was like 60. And then I'd love to play Mama Rose. But yeah, until then, it can stay away till I'm 60, then it can come back, and then I can be Mama Rose. That's what I'd like. That's my goal. So if producers can just do that, just wait till I'm old enough to play it. That'd be great. I always want to play old diva roles. Like I love Nora Desmond as well in Sunset Boulevard. Just have to wait 30 years, like 40 years. It's fine. The last big show I saw was Matilda. Yeah, I saw Matilda a couple of months ago for the second or third time. And I mean, it's amazing. I don't know anyone that's got a bad word to say about that show. It's brilliant, and the kids are so good that it makes me sick. How can they be so good that young? It's crazy. So good. I loved it, absolutely loved it. I've seen pretty much everything in the West End though. And I see a lot of fringe things as well. Because I think the fringe is kind of modern rep at the minute. So I think it's so important to go to the fringe and see, because more often than not, it's better. And that's probably awful, but I think it's because real heart and soul goes into it rather than money. And, you know, I know a lot of actors that have worked on the fringe, I know a lot of producers that produce, and it's sheer passion that goes into it, sheer passion and drive and hard work. And I think you can sit, I mean, sometimes they're not every production, but the majority you watch and think, yeah, I'm with you. Well, I do love, although it's not for me to sing, so I'll say I love If I Didn't Believe in You from the Last 5 Years, which I know sounds like a rubbish choice, but this is such a cheesy story. My best friend sang it to me on our first day at Mount View, sang it over the piano, and I fell full on in love with him. And that still remains one of my favourite songs to hear a man sing, because it just reminds me of him. And I think my favourite song for a girl to sing, for me to sing, oh, I don't know. Oh, I do love Rose's Turn from Gypsy. I do love that. That's a brilliant song. And Some People from Gypsy as well. I love Stephen Sondheim. I think Being Alive is a beautiful song as well, although I don't really sing it. I'm probably forgetting one, and I'll get home and think, oh, That's my favourite song. I'm an idiot. But I think, yeah, if it's a Sondheim song, I'm probably happy for it to be on. As long as that's on in the background. I do love A Little Priest as well, but that's a duet. Yeah. Give me Sondheim, I'm happy. So you can buy tickets for Cross Purpose at the King's Head Theatre website, which is www.kingsheadtheatre.org. And we are running from the 7th of October until the 11th of November in the Sunday and Monday night slot at 7:15 p.m. Please come see us and say hello.